How do I learn English? Part 2. Hello, friends. I'm Hazel. I'm here to tell you about new ways of learning English. In my last video, I shared my journey of learning English. As you know, I went to London and enrolled in English language classes. I talked about my fantastic teacher and her amazing, useful techniques that helped all the students become proficient in English. Today, I'll share more new techniques that I learned from her. At first, I focused on improving my accent by shadowing native speakers. I listened to English speakers on videos. I copied what they said. This was hard, but it helped me sound more natural. One day at work, something interesting happened. A man and woman who were married came to the cafe. The man spoke English, but I couldn't understand him. I think he wanted something we didn't sell. I called my boss for help. She talked to the man and sold him coffee and sandwiches. I was surprised I couldn't understand. My boss said it's okay. Sometimes accents are hard. She thinks the couple might be from Australia. The next day at school, I told my teacher about the cafe. I felt bad I couldn't understand the customer. I worried my English wasn't good enough for work. My teacher listened and said, "London English is familiar, but Australian English is new. Your ears need practice. Listen more to Australian English. This happens to everyone. New accents are hard, even for good English speakers. It's okay. It takes time, maybe 2 weeks, to understand a new accent. Don't worry. With practice, you'll get it." "How can I understand Australian English?" I asked my teacher. "Watch movies and funny shows in Australian English," she said. "Listen often, and you'll understand them soon." "Thank you, teacher," I replied. After school, I went back to work. Later, 2 new customers came in. They weren't from Australia, but they spoke a different language. They wanted coffee. My boss saw they didn't understand English well, so she spoke in short, easy sentences. Like this: "Coffee, too?" The ladies understood. They bought coffee, sandwiches, and cake. They were happy, and my boss, too. I told my boss it was cool how she talked differently to the customers. She said she sometimes needs to speak easy English, no matter how good someone's English is. They are visitors, and we want them to feel good. If they feel welcome, they'll come back every day, she thinks. My boss is smart. She tries hard to make customers happy. Our cafe is always busy because of that. Want to understand people with a different accent? My teacher shared a helpful tip. Listen to audio like short stories or watch movies in that accent for a while. It helps your ears get used to the new sounds. The next day at school, I told my teacher about my experience with my boss and the 2 ladies who didn't speak English very well. I explained how my boss had adapted her language to communicate with them effectively. My teacher was impressed and commented, "Great. Your boss must be a very clever young lady. You can indeed communicate with everybody, regardless of their accent." It just takes a bit of patience and understanding. People who know English well can talk to beginners. Today, let's talk about English levels and what you can do at each level. Level 1. Basic conversation. This is the starting point with about 1,000 words. You can talk about some everyday things like greetings or simple needs. Speaking is slow and short, but you can communicate a little with patient people. Sentences are short, usually 4 words. If others use short sentences too, you can have a basic chat. Level 2. More words. More talk. Learn 2,000 words and talking gets easier. Sentences get longer too. This is you right now. You can talk about many things in your life, like family, hobbies, work, or travel. Sometimes harder topics might be tricky, but this level is good for everyday English. Level 3. Deeper conversations. Want to talk more deeply about many things? Aim for 3,000 words. The more words you know, the easier English is. But 3,000 words are usually enough to talk about almost anything. The 2 ladies at the cafe probably knew around 1,000 words. Your boss understood this and talked in a simple way, having a basic conversation with them. School party fun. On Thursday, we talked about the school party in English class. Everyone had a blast. There were drinks, fun, and dancing. I especially liked it because Joe was there, and we talked and danced together. Teammates in English. 2 players from my football team from Argentina were also at the party. Their English was basic, short sentences, but they were funny. They joked about life in England, our team, and girls from their class. Even with short sentences, they could talk well. Talking about fluency, we talked about the party in English class. I told my teacher it was interesting to see the football players talk well, even with short sentences. Some other students know more words but can't talk as smoothly. My teacher smiled and said, "They used what they knew to communicate. That's important." One girl then asked, curious about fluency, "So, what can we do to speak English fluently? Should we go to parties and make jokes?" Our teacher smiled and explained, "First, let's define what fluent speaking is. Many students think fluency means speaking fast with a lot of words and perfect grammar. The importance of practice. Our teacher explained that fluency isn't just about knowing many words. It's also about speaking easily, without long pauses to find the words. Some people can do this with fewer words, while others need more practice. The key to fluency is using your English regularly, just like practicing an instrument. You need to train your brain to connect with your mouth muscles to speak smoothly. Many students experience this. You meet someone who wants to talk in English, but you struggle to find the words. This happens because your brain isn't used to speaking English yet. Sometimes, after a conversation, you might realize you knew the right words, but it felt too slow in the moment. This happens because your brain isn't used to speaking English automatically. The more you practice speaking, the easier it gets. It's like training a skill. 30 minutes a day is a great goal. Talking to real people whenever you can. Even if you can't find someone to talk to, try thinking aloud in English. This means speaking your thoughts out loud, not just in your head. It's a good way to practice connecting your brain and mouth muscles for smoother speaking. The next day, a student asked how to improve listening in English. Our teacher said listening is important to understand people and have conversations. There are 2 ways to practice listening. 1. Listen to audio recordings in English. 2. Watch movies or shows in English. Both can help you get better at listening. When listening to English audio, it's easier if you already know most of the words. If it's new, try reading the text first, if available, to understand the topic. This helps you guess new words from the story. The main goal is to understand what people are saying, not to learn every single word. You might learn new words along the way, but that's a bonus. There are special books that can help you improve your listening. These books are written in simple English and come with audio recordings. You can choose a book that's easy for you to understand. Here's the benefit. By reading along with the recording, you can connect the written words with the spoken words. This helps you understand listening better. You can also improve your listening with videos. There are many websites and apps with videos in English. Here's a tip. When you watch a new video, use subtitles at first. This helps you connect the spoken words with the text and understand the story better. Watch videos without subtitles after practice. Once you feel comfortable with subtitles, try watching the video again without them. Each time you watch, you'll understand more. Choose interesting videos. Pick videos about topics you enjoy, like short stories or shows about your hobbies. This makes listening more fun. Start slow and celebrate progress. Don't worry if you only understand a little at first. Keep listening, and you'll gradually understand more. Celebrate every new sentence you learn. The teacher smiled. Does this information help you? All the students answered excitedly. Yes. Great, the teacher continued. Now you know what to do to improve your listening and speaking. Remember, practice is key. Aim for 30 minutes of speaking and listening activities daily.